But maybe they'd bring him back and it'd be like, Daddy, oh my God, you're back.
Mm.
Yeah, Pete. And then Pete tells them about his life.
Yeah.
Because he had died. And he's like, wait, because I died, you got this life?
So it was all a dream.
Yeah,
Wakes
Dad.
up one day and then
Yeah,
he sees
Dad.
his dad's alive.
Yeah, Dad.
No!
But I missed you the whole time. I think his dad would just be like, Pete, I won't even be that good of a father for the sake of the rest of your life. I will stay dead. Please enjoy the pussy, son.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, let's put a lid on that. That's just like you saying that in that voice.
Enjoy the pussy, son.
It's fucking horrible.
The Year Is with Red and Bobby.
Welcome to The Year Is podcast. The podcast where every episode, me and Bobby Mair, comedian and YouTube star, go back to a year in history.
I'm not a star, but
You're doing well.
Thriving.
Your special cockroach out on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah. And when does your special film again?
December 2nd. Probably sold out by this. But it might not be. DM me on Instagram if you have a good laugh. If you sit there quietly and then go, I really enjoyed that, I'll hit you. So please come if you have a good laugh.
Do you check your others folder, though, on Instagram? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually do.
Because that's...
But that's always just like, hey, we like your profile. Would you like to...
I know. I discovered that folder after like 2 years of being on Instagram. And then I was like, oh, I missed out on 5,000 pounds of work.
That's so bad.
It was just message after message being like, hey, we'd love to book you for this gig. And then they message, oh, maybe next time.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually had a few things.
Idea.
Didn't you? Yeah, didn't you have some like big tour support you lost off that or something like that?
Yeah, I was supposed to support
Kevin Hart.
Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage on his tour.
Yeah.
On his tour. In other news, Jody is eating a donut in Bobby's studio. How's the donut, Jody?
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's from a shop just down the road.
I didn't ask where it was from, Jody. It's 11:30. Not even. It's 11:28 in the morning.
It was quite. Yeah, he was sucking his fingers before he started. And that's not really like. Sometimes like an improv troupe, they do like improv games before they start. I don't think the pre-podcast like getting us into the zone is watching Jody suck his own fingers.
Yeah, no.
Or anyone's fingers, actually. I don't think Jody sucking anyone else's fingers would be relaxing.
Yeah, no, possibly not. But
this is the last week that the audience won't know what Jody looks like.
We do the big reveal.
Yeah. The big reveal next week is Jody. We're going to see Jody's face. Now,
Imagine if he goes and gets a spray tan before we do the reveal.
Jody seems nervous about it. I don't know if it's because of crimes he's committed or, whatever he's avoiding, but he does seem nervous about the reveal of his own face.
So I went to Portsmouth last Friday.
Yeah.
And I did a gig there. Have you done the Wedgwood Rooms?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Good gig.
Yeah, I had a good time. But the MC told me a story about the area called, it's by Lee Park. And apparently, the blue plaques they put up when someone famous has lived in a house?
Yeah.
Or someone, impressive as well. So they put up a blue plaque for a famous pediatrician. I don't know if you can see where this story is going. But everyone in the neighborhood didn't know what a pediatrician was. And thought they were memorializing a famous paedophile.
Okay.
So there was like a 1,000-person march, and they interviewed these mothers on television. They go, "It's a fucking disgrace. You shouldn't be celebrating people like that." Yeah, which I just thought was great.
And then they're like, "Oh, what does this guy do? He touches children." Well, yeah, he actually does. He does touch children.
But it was the host said it, and they just went, "Oh." Like, they've clearly heard it. And they were clearly at the march. You know what I mean? It's so, getting so riled up. Like, we need to tear this out.
He's just taking kids' clothes off all the time. Are you taking kids' clothes off? Well, I do take kids' clothes off, but it's because I'm you fucking pedophile. No, pediatrician. Trician means doctor. File means sex.
So, yeah. No, I just thought that was quite good. Well, so Twitter's ending today, apparently. I don't understand why.
I don't want to talk about it. It's so boring.
Okay. What do you want to talk about, Bobby?
I've had a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Success.
special.
Oh, that's what you want to talk about.
Yeah, my special's been just like the numbers every day climbing.
Mm-hmm.
New fans,
Have you gotten more followers from it?
followers, fans, messages, life-affirming messages, like, how have I never heard of you?
Really? Yeah, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
The patrons have all got involved.
Really?
Yeah, every patron has sent me flowers.
Really?
Hundreds of flower bouquets.
Oh, that's nice.
And if you're not a patron, and not that I expect all of the patrons to send me flowers, but it's been a nice thing. Some of them sent me naked photos of their own mothers, which I found odd, but also like, I guess like they thought I'd like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't take the photos. I think they found them in like their mother's like dresser or something, and thought maybe Bobby would like these.
Yep.
A couple pledged their lives to me.
Mm.
Like, not like they just said, listen, for the rest of my life after watching your special, I will serve you. But like, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you don't have to serve me forever. You don't have to give me naked photos of your mother. You don't have to send me flowers.
Shall we get in the time machine?
You just, if you subscribe to our Patreon,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
you just have to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just get an extra episode every week.
Yeah.
It's not hard, is it, Red?
No, it's not hard at all.
What do? They just go to patreon.com
Yep.
/theyearis
Pod.
Odd.
and £3 a month is the minimum.
Yeah.
That's like, if you're in America or Canada, that's like $5. That's at this point, that's a loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the times you eat bread where you could have just eaten just ham exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck that bread. Give us that bread money. And
just shove the ham in your mouth.
Shove the
you
fucking ham in
greedy
your
pig.
mouth and get an extra episode.
Mhm.
Red has sacrificed bread. He only exclusively eats ham now. And look at him. You could be Red. After being a patron for a couple months of the Year Is podcast.
You too could look like this.
You could look like that.
Indeed.
You could also get hit by a bus, though. We don't know. So in your last months,
You never know what's going to happen.
I think it'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah. Anyway, Bobby, this year.
You just said Rennyway.
Anyway,
No,
Bobby.
you said Rennyway.
Well,
but you said it really confidently. Rennyway.
Anyway.
Rennyway, Robbie.
This year, this episode, we're going back to 2011.
I'd like to do a disclaimer, because whenever I allow you to do the research,
Oh my god! We just did the Halloween episode was one of the worst ones we've ever done.
that was
was
not the
shit.
research. That was
You did
your
like 3 bits, and I just sat there going, "He doesn't know what he's talking about."
no. That was your conjecture.
And you went, Halloween started, and then you didn't even know why it started. It was
No
like,
one
"That's
knows
so-
exactly why it started. It was like,
Hallows Eve to keep away the spooky spookies.
you don't.
Yes,
not
I
true.
do. That's exactly what they say.
Okay, but Brad, the problem is when you do the research often, we know this is true.
We don't know this is true.
You
What?
walk into this room so confident, like, listen, I've got 1,000 facts.
Mhm.
I know so much, and they're so interesting, but you said none of them out loud. So then you come in, and it starts, and after 10 minutes, you're scrambling. So I don't want a repeat of other episodes.
3 weeks ago,
We
you
don't
s-
need to
you-
go
you
into
said
it. We don't need to go into
tarpaulin
it.
instead of tarpaulin. I would love to live in your brain because it's very far from reality, but it must be a nice place to be.
Anyway, let's get into it.
Okay. Big wedding in 2011. Any ideas what it would have been?
We didn't travel back to 2011 yet.
Oh, we're in 2011, by the way.
Okay.
Update.
Why did
Boom.
you...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
iPhone 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah. That's the year I moved here.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
Bobby Mair. Come through. Is that
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
arrived via plane in the
Why
UK.
did you come here?
Because I didn't have enough credits to get a visa to the United States.
Oh, so you wanted to go to America?
Of course. It's a better... Well, no.
So where would you have moved in America?
I don't know, New York. But I didn't want to
You'd
go
be
to
opening
New
for
York.
Louis C.K. right now if you got moved to New York.
I don't know if that's true.
100%. 100%. Carry on.
So it was really easy to get a visa to move here because on this youth mobility scheme. So I did
Mhm.
that. Came here. I'd never visited England.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how small and gray and backward it was as a
Mhm.
place,
And you went, this is where I belong.
and how tiny everything is.
Mhm.
I felt handsome for the first time.
Oh, as if.
I did. I arrived here and looked
the
at
first
everyone.
2 seconds.
I looked at everyone, all the ghouls occupying your streets, and I thought, you know what? I'm all right. So yeah, landed on my feet. I was sleeping on a couch.
How long for?
For a couple weeks, but then this guy got evicted, so I got his room.
So what was your plan from the couch? Because you didn't know he was going to get evicted.
I just had to find a place, but
Okay.
you don't want to pay for like an apartment when you're not living in that country because it'll be a scam. You know, you don't know what you're gonna get.
You got to go and actually look.
You gotta go and feel out the neighborhood.
Not like Gumtree where you give them $1,000 and
Yeah.
there is no place.
So exactly. So landed on my feet, got a place. I remember the day I knew a guy who was a flight attendant, so he got me on standby, so I had a really cheap flight. And then I arrived, and I was with this other flight attendant who was also flying standby, and he was like, yeah, you okay? Where are you going? You go to Streatham Hill? Okay, bye. And I'm like, I don't know how to use the trains here. It was terrifying.
You
Like
didn't have Google Maps.
Well,
It wasn't really
I didn't
much
have
of a thing
data.
back then, was it? Yeah.
No, and also you're just like, I don't know what. Wait, what? I go to Clapham Junction and then what does that mean? Like it was just
yeah.
a whole. It was very confusing. And then I remember I got to the place I was living at, and I needed to piss, but no one was answering the doors. Then I had to run up the street, piss at a pub, and come back to the place I was living at and keep knocking at the door. And eventually someone answered. And you lived in that house briefly, didn't you?
Yeah, for like, not long.
Oh yeah, everyone lived there.
It was just
at
so
some point.
cheap, wasn't it? It was like £200 a month.
Yeah, it was like I think at most you'd pay like $280, but if you were a couple, at one point there were 5 couples living there.
Yeah, and the walls
or 4 couples. It was
the walls were like moist with shit
and
you know?
paper thin. You could hear everything going
it was
on.
It was pretty grim, that place.
Yeah, but so cheap.
How long did you live there for?
I don't know, 5 years.
Fuck.
And then me and Harriet went on our own, but I had moved all my friends in by that point, which was great. So then I'd just go and
Tim
visit.
Renko was there.
Dylan, got all of Mike Shear, all my Canadian friends.
Yeah.
And
I rented Dylan's room for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted independence, right? Because you were living with Rosie's.
Yeah, no, I was there. No, I just thought, it's time to move out, and this was so cheap. I'd never, I just couldn't believe it. Dylan posted it and was like, and I just thought, you have a London place, you know, for what was it like? I can't remember, it was like $240 or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I would really. What else happened in 2011 though, Red? Enlighten me.
No, I was quite enjoying that. So you get over. How did you get your first gig?
I don't remember.
You don't remember where your first gig was?
What I did was I just got on the ground. I just literally Googled like UK comedy gigs and emailed and called every promoter in the country.
And
then just started doing gigs.
did you get loads of gigs?
Yeah, of course.
But you won a new act competition, Laughing Horse. Was this in 2011?
I think that was early 2012. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I'd been doing comedy for like 8 years.
Yeah, and you meant to be going a year for that one.
No, it was just comedy in the UK for a year. I think was
Yeah,
I had been doing comedy in the UK for less.
But
than a year.
you won it, didn't you?
I did win it, but to be fair, I won it after I'd been awake for 48 hours and I was coming down off coke and MDMA.
Mm-hmm.
And
2 days you've been up.
Yeah, I was up against a bunch of people who had not been awake
been
for 48 hours. And
I think it's only fair you turned up
and
having not slept for 2 days.
And I still won.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought that was a victory, you know.
Well, yeah, I think did you do that on purpose to handicap yourself a bit?
No, it was more just a drug addiction issue. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, two very important people, 2 of my favourite people in the world got married this year in 2011. Prince William and Kate Middleton. Real name Catherine Middleton, I've just discovered. It was a big deal. 2 billion people watched that
That's
wedding.
such a lie. They always say that. That's
not
such
a lie.
a lie.
It's not a
They're
lie.
always like, 8 billion people watched the Pope today.
Why do you think it's a lie?
Because that's 1/4 of the Earth's population.
Yeah, and there is like wars going on, and like fucking, there's always seems to be a flood.
Nobody in China watched it. You know?
You sure? People love Will and Kate.
I don't
Apart
know.
from Meghan and Harry, bloody hell.
I hate these people.
What, William and Kate?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're just like posh toads.
Mm.
They're so annoying and like they both look like they're slowly turning into horses.
They work very hard.
Waving. They're good wavers.
Waving is exhausting.
Yeah, they have to go. They have to go to the colonies that their grandparents, like, well, their great great grandparents, whatever, just like fucking
And wave.
And all the people are like, "Fuck you! I
Well-
fucking hate you! Get the fuck out of our fucking country!" And they have to be like, "Oh, thank you for letting us know how you feel." And then they don't apologize. They don't apologize for what, whatever.
We can't apologize because then you'd have to like start. They'd think, oh, maybe we'll have to give stuff back.
Yeah, and you will.
What's that saying? Never apologize. What was it you taught it to me the other week?
It's Don Draper. It's never explain, never apologize.
Yeah. Well, William doesn't want it to end, does he?
No, but it's gonna.
You
For
think?
somebody.
I think I like that little the prince, the evil prince, the young one who slapped his mum at Wimbledon or what? No, it was at the Queen's coronation.
Yeah, you think he's gonna be a little Joffrey?
I think he'll take the monarchy back to the 1500s.
Yeah.
I think the Tower of London's not quite finished.
Chain Meg into a radiator.
Oh, there's going to be he looks quite evil. But yeah, no, I think most people in England watch it. It's so boring. I watched a bit of the Queen's funeral.
Well, we're talking about weddings and funerals, different. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same thing in terms of you're just watching like people march and then a long boring thing, and you know what I mean. It's just like I don't know why weddings. The wedding ceremony is actually the worst part of any wedding. I think everyone knows that.
Yeah, the best part of the wedding
Is the party.
Leaving.
Oh, okay.
Say the second you decide, I'm not even going to say goodbye. I'm just going to walk out.
That doesn't seem nice.
No, it's not. Well, you can't say. There's like 100 people there, so if you try to say goodbye, you're
But
flummoxed.
why do you like leaving so much?
Because you've done it. You've done your duty. The fun has been had. But you can feel like, oh, things are about to get weird, and then you just get to escape the wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I imagine at their wedding, there was a point in the night where, like, all the staff start, like, passing pictures of, like, I don't know what they do for fun, like Diana's dead body around.
They were not going to do that for fun.
And, they're all doing shots and, like,
Yeah.
and then that would be when I exit.
Okay. I find weddings quite fun. What do you think, Jody?
He's never been invited to one, so.
That's mean.
Apart from yours is the only wedding that I've been to, and it was.
You went. Jody was at your wedding.
It was impossible to leave because when we'd been kicked out, the train from Canterbury back to Victoria or whatever it was just got stuck and just would not move, and we were just on this not moving train for hours.
Yeah.
That sounds horrendous.
Yeah.
Where were you, though? You didn't come to my
So
wedding.
I was meant to come to the party.
But you were invited.
I know I was invited to the party, so I hadn't made full guest list. Which I was a bit like, oh, okay, not sure about that.
Well, we didn't know each other that well.
No,
at
we
the
didn't.
time.
We didn't. It's very true. But
So you didn't come.
I was meant to use a car, and then I couldn't use the car, and I thought, if I get the train for 7 o'clock, the next train back or the last train back is like 10, because you did your wedding on a Sunday or something. I remember.
No.
It was a Sunday, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
I
Maybe
think-
the best wedding I've been to.
Yeah. Well, you've only been to one.
Yeah.
Why did you get kicked out of the wedding?
No, well, at the end, everyone's like, "That's enough." We've
The
only
wedding
had
just
the
ends. At some
DJ."
point, the party ends.
Mhm.
Every party has to
Okay.
end.
And what everyone just has to leave.
They don't. It's not like there's not like a man like shoving
I
everyone
just
off
thought
the
it
premises.
was last man standing,
No.
Was there no one at your wedding who was there till like 5 a.m.?
I think maybe like 3 a.m. I don't remember the exact timings.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I and some other people had to go and get the last train back, which must have been what 11:30, 12 or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even that late, but because it took like 3+ hours to get back because the train just stopped. and
I'm
just would
so
not
glad I
move.
didn't make it. Because I would have been on that train with Jody for 3.5 hours.
You would have got so drunk you missed the train and then slept in a field.
That probably would have happened before. But I just want to say, 11 years of marriage. Well, no, yeah, it's 11.
What?
Well done, Kate and
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, but like he's been having affairs though.
Well, apparently he was pegging, wasn't he? The pegging prince, they call
Yeah,
him. He likes to be pegged.
but I mean, good for him.
Yeah, he has a hard life. It must be boring waving at people all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to pay a stranger to put an object in your bum.
Well, there was no. I didn't hear that he was paying women. I just.
I don't.
heard-
Yeah, maybe not paying, but you think he would have to kind of pay because otherwise it's getting out, isn't it?
Mm,
NDAs
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Summoned. I always think if someone hands you an NDA, you go, I don't want to go into the room I'm about to walk into.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say a word about this.
Yeah. Sign this NDA. Pretty much, if we kill you, no one can talk about it. The fact that we killed you. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it does seem odd. Do you want to know which famous people went to the wedding?
Yeah.
David and Victoria Beckham,
Boring.
Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, Mr. Bean. I'm glad he doesn't talk. And when he talks about cancel culture. You're Mr. Bean. I don't think you have to worry.
Amanda Berry, I don't know who that, chief executive of BAFTA. Shout out to Amanda.
Great. Okay.
Elton John, of course, he has to be there.
Yeah, I
And
bet
David
they're
Close.
like, yeah, Elton, you sang that song for our mom. Can you fuck off?
No,
Like,
they love him.
I don't know if they do.
You're in a bad mood today, Bobby. They love Elton
I
John.
hate the royal family. I hate the royals.
But they're your royals too,
They're
because
not-
Canada is still under us.
What a naive point of view to think everybody loves.
You love the royals.
No, how do you like the Kardashians?
No,
That's how I feel about them.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just indifferent. I just like how much the royals annoy people.
There's that guy's on I'm a Celeb right now who's like fucking the rugby player's married to a royal, right?
Mm.
And then they said, oh yeah, people are I read this stupid fucking headline that was like, Kate and William are angry that he's on I'm a Celeb, and it's like, your life is a reality show.
Yeah.
Your life is a constant reality show. This guy just streamlined it and got paid.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have brought this up then.
No, it's fine.
What will make you happy then?
What would make me happy? I don't know. Tell me a fact about them that's like
Do
painful.
you want to know the most notable event of 2011, apparently?
Is it related to the royals?
Not at all.
Okay.
Gaddafi is killed. In the streets. Government overthrown and swept, and this part of the Arab Spring. But Gaddafi was beaten to death by his people.
We've talked about Gaddafi, his death before. I gotta say, it was a good one.
Mm.
He had his faults,
Yeah.
but he was a good dresser.
All his kids got killed. Well, not all of them, but like 2 of his sons were killed as well.
You always lose a couple kids in an uprising.
Yeah.
That's why dictators always have a lot of kids, I think. You have 8. When you get overthrown and killed, you lose 3. You still got 5 to carry on the legacy. 10 years later, one of them gets into politics.
Mm-hmm.
One of them.
I think the people probably feel like they have to kill all the children. Otherwise, you've got everyone goes, let's put him in power.
Well, it's more. I think they kill. Some of them are often involved in the administration.
Of course, yeah. Well, his kids were.
Yeah, they were getting into it.
Yeah, his kid. One of them shot. I think one of them was killed before him, and he couldn't go to the funeral because it was too dangerous. It must be weird you have that total power and then just see it collapse.
Yeah,
and just terrifying. But that's why they're so brutal, isn't it? Because you live in fear.
Well, the first couple months of Gaddafi's reign, everyone was like, "Who is this liberal great guy?" He was just like making reforms, talking about the revolution, but then the revolution never ended.
No.
And he always needed an enemy.
Yeah. Well, there was some video the other day that was saying like he did loads of great things, but he's just like, well, his people end up beating him to death. So I don't think he was that popular.
He was popular in Africa because he donated a lot of money to Africa. But in his own country, yeah, eventually. Any dictator will always have like 90% of the population likes them.
Yeah.
And then there's the 10% that's an oppressed minority or political dissidents that they kill. You still have to keep most people on side.
Mm-hmm.
And it tipped out of favor for him.
Yeah. Overthrown in the street, beaten to death. There's all those horrible videos of it. He was in a drainage pipe. But he went from being like, Beyonce went and sang at his son's birthday and stuff.
Well, we only
3 million. Would you have done a live podcast for Gaddafi's kid's birthday?
For $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I would.
I would as well.
I think I would. Yeah.
And then we could quit this bloody thing. 1.5 mil each. Oh wait, we got to cut Jody in. Bloody hell.
No, we don't.
Well, he gets.
They'll provide their own tech. I'll say we'll do it, but you have to provide a tech.
Yeah, but then there might be an uprising of getting
from Jody.
Jody uprising.
What's Jody gonna do?
I don't know, but
if we get 1.5 mil each,
no, we'd have to give him a mil. What would you spend your mil on, Jody?
Maybe donuts and records.
Okay, you're not getting a mil.
That's
Jody.
the saddest answer.
Donuts and records.
Yeah, Jody, I think I'm just gonna get another wing to my mansion.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you're gonna Jody, have your donut money. Records. What would you? What's the most expensive record you'd want to buy, Jody? Is there like other records that cost like $100,000 or something?
I don't know. I don't know if they go to that much, but there's some very, very rare ones. Yeah, there's a particularly rare Rolling Stones one I want to get. I think it was just like a misprint or something like that, or just songs on it that you just can't get anywhere else. But yeah, I've spent
You sure
a
they're
lot
not
of
on Spotify? I feel like they're probably on Spotify.
I don't know. I don't listen to Spotify.
I can't imagine there's a song that is on a record and not on Spotify.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Jody,
No,
I think you've been tricked.
But
No,
people
no.
like him. It's more classic, I suppose. You just feel it's a whole club, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's also
You
like
get to
a
take it out of the
ritual.
thing and put it on.
Yeah, and you sit and listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Spotify, you're doing loads of other things at the same time.
I haven't updated my Spotify, so I just get fucking adverts all the time. I can't be bothered. It's just like,
Yeah. And also, there's just so many subscriptions in our lives now. Apple TV, Disney Plus, Netflix, Spotify, Sky. And it's like, all of these things have 2 good shows.
yeah.
And 1,000 horrible shows.
Because I've got Sky, so they show you what you could have.
Yeah.
Like, they'll go, this season, and you go, oh, this looks good, and you click on it, and it just goes, get Paramount Plus. You're like, I can't have all these things. You guys need to just sort it out between you, and let's just have, like, one of them.
Yeah.
Because what does Netflix upload? They've got The Crown, I suppose.
That's your favorite Netflix show is The Crown.
No, I don't like the way they treat
You're such
Prince
a,
Charles in it.
You're such a fuck.
I was watching it last night, actually. Brought
Oh.
a tear to my eye. They got Diana causing non-stop trouble behind the scenes.
I'd rather suffer from stigmata than watch The Crown.
Does Harriet not watch The Crown?
No.
Okay. I've watched like 2 episodes. Have you watched it, Jody?
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea to start watching it about 12:30 last night.
Ah.
Yeah.
How many have you watched?
Well, I guess the first episode of the new season.
Okay. Up to date.
Yeah, I didn't realise Diana was being played by that woman from Tenet, who's awesome. I can't remember.
I
her
don't know
name
who she
now.
is.
Yeah.
But she's doing a good job. And what do you call it? It's just come in. Al Fayed.
Dodi Al-Fayed.
And Dodi's there, his dad's there, and they've just met. And you go, oh.
I like what his dad did after they died.
What? Said it was a murder.
Just kept saying it. Yeah.
Mm.
And he's like a billionaire.
Yeah, he's worth 1.8 billion.
And he's just like, nope, you killed them.
Mm-hmm. But he was obsessed with the royal family.
Yeah.
Like, really wanted to be in with them.
And now
he doesn't.
No.
When Gaddafi got caught in the drain pipe,
Yeah.
they started beating him. His own man shot him because he said it's better to that you die now, than what they're going to do.
But did Gaddafi say shoot me, or he was just
no,
like...
he just shot him. And maybe he just actually went, fucking, this is my chance.
I think what he did was he thought, I'm going to shoot him, and then they'll think I'm on their side.
But they all started beating him. And Gaddafi was saying, as they're beating him, God forbids this. And then he went, do you not know right from wrong? Having had this tyrannical reign where,
Well, he's not wrong. It's wrong to beat someone to death in the streets, generally.
Yeah.
Understandable also.
No, of course.
It did lead to like years of civil war
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and power struggles.
Well, he always says that the West want to keep. He said, "You guys want to keep me and Saddam in power because you don't know what we're repressing." That was always his
yeah, he wasn't wrong.
bargaining chip.
but also it didn't work for that long.
Mm-hmm. So 11 years without Colonel G. Feels like yesterday we were hanging out with him. Very sad.
He was a tyrannical dictator, and we eulogize him on this podcast.
About celebrating this podcast, Kate and William, Colonel Gaddafi.
The great-grandchildren of
His
other tyrannical dictators.
Gaddafi's son wanted to be a footballer, and he paid his way into a Series C football team.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's like nepotism on it. You know what I mean? Like,
let him kick the ball, buddy. He's paying all their salaries.
Yeah, he bought. Who do you think bought the football kit? Who paid for the subs for the training? Also, 2011, big event. Someone very bad gets shot in his hideout in Pakistan. Who do you think I'm talking about, Bobby?
I'm not sure. I wonder who it could be. Why don't you tell me? Is he one of your heroes?
No, quite the opposite. Osama Bin Laden, shot and killed in Pakistan by SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were when Bin Laden died?
No.
You don't? I do. I was at university. Walked past the off license. Newspaper headline, we got him. I go inside, I buy the paper, take it to class.
How did you... Were you happy?
I was like, yeah, because it spent fucking ages. I'd rather we didn't shoot him. A trial would have been good.
No, but then if he's alive, that's a problem.
Well, the people try and get him out.
No, then because everybody attached to his organization then takes hostages and says, if you don't let our guy go,
yeah,
we're going to kill these innocent civilians. And they can't let him go. So then it leads to a lot more deaths.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I only briefly work for the CIA, so
Okay.
I can't claim I can't claim to have all the inside
You did
track.
work experience there when you were 15.
Yeah. They were role playing, like putting Epstein into the field, so I was playing one of the teenage girls.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Just to kind of like how they were going to honey trap all the politicians.
Oh, I think I'm allergic to your room.
You always say that.
It's just so, I think it's dusty.
It's not dusty. I dusted today while I was watching The fucking Crown.
Have you got asbestos in your walls?
I hope so.
I bet you do.
Asbestos doesn't make people sneeze. It
We're
just
all
gives
gonna
you
get
cancer in
cancer
30 years.
Yeah, we're all going to get cancer. I'll see Jody and I'll be like, I've got the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a kind of, there was that guy, because they're all not meant to talk about it, and then the one guy sells his book. I would have talked about it if I'd been on the...
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't ask you.
Yeah, I wasn't
think
asked.
The man who's never kept a secret, Red Richardson.
But they were training for it for weeks, and they didn't really quite know what they're doing, and then they're in the helicopter, and he goes, by the way, we're going to get Bin Laden. If you're an American soldier, that's like, would you like a Netflix special for a comedian?
It's a big one.
It's the big one.
So, but the other guys, they've stayed silent.
Everyone stays silent. They hate him. He's kind of been kicked out of the
Well, the reason
circle of trust.
The reason you don't do it probably is because you also then have a target on your back for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I think he's fine. He goes on like Howard Stern and stuff. He's doing right.
No, you say that, but
Mm.
there's gonna be. I would say you're not that different from what's his name, the guy, the author. They got him finally too.
Who? Oh, Salman Rushdie.
Salman Rushdie. You're kind of putting a target on your back.
Yeah, but this guy's trained.
Yeah. He's still one guy. You can be really trained, but if someone shoots you in the back of the head, it's hard for your training to kick in while you bleed out all over the floor of your fucking kitchen.
Yep, that's not good.
Oh, my training. What about my training? Well, you got shot in the back of the fucking head.
Well, with his training, he'd be able to locate threat from behind and go. "Ooh."
Locate threat.
Yeah, that's
like
what
he's
they call it.
like he's a Terminator.
Well, no, he probably scans everywhere he goes. He looks around and scans for danger.
Yeah.
Just looks around, goes ooh ooh ooh.
Can you what do you sense?
No, I can't because I'm not trained.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Not to that level anyway.
No, it's a different level.
It's a different level. I'm one below it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't realize.
But no, so they crashed one of the helicopters into the building, into the wall of the building where the compound where Bin Laden was.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Well-
After weeks of training, you go, that's the opposite of what we wanted to happen.
So what
The plan was to secretly and as quietly as possible sort of land on.
Well, it's pretty hard to
An helicopter.
quietly land a helicopter.
Of course it is, but you don't want to crash into the side of the fucking house either, do you?
Yeah.
So now they don't have a helicopter, they're down a helicopter. And
Okay.
everyone in the neighborhood has come out because it's not so much about the compound, it's more about the people in the area.
Yeah.
So they crash into the thing. Everyone in the neighborhood comes out. And so one guy, of typical America, they send one guy who can barely speak the language to go and deal with them, you know? So it's like, hey guys, have you thought about learning the language before you go to a place and fucking shoot? The amount of times, and I know it's in movies, but sure it happens in real life. They're like, put it down. They're like shouting in Afghanistan, you know, and then like,
Wait, you just you
Iraqi.
don't know you just said learn the language, but then you don't know what language they speak in
they're
Afghanistan.
speaking Afghanistan.
No, please, Red. That's not a language. It may be. I mean, maybe Punjab. Is that a language? Is
That's
that what they're
not for
speaking?
Afghanistan.
It's the border between.
They speak
Pakistan.
Urdu in Pakistan.
They speak a lot of languages in Pakistan. It's not all one language.
Well, what are the other languages then?
No, I don't know, but I'm saying I know
So
they have more than one
you
national
said that
language in
and then you
Pakistan.
sniggered. Which suggested you knew what you're talking about, but you don't. So
Okay,
Pashto is what they speak in Afghanistan. Did you know that?
but it's not. You said they don't just speak one. Okay, sure.
Pashto and Dari Persian, two languages.
okay.
Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the?
But what about where this happened? This was in Pakistan.
Yeah.
You just said Afghanistan.
Yeah, Pakistan. They speak Urdu.
Okay.
Is that all right?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, he's negotiating with those guys, and they obviously now know. Bin Laden's family now know that he's there, that they're there, and they start they shoot him up, and then his son was there, gets killed. Not good. But they managed. None of the kids got shot. All the women, and one woman actually got shot at the entrance.
In the head.
Yeah, they did it. They
Yeah.
because there was firing coming back, so they were like just fired in.
Yeah, I get that.
But what they did is they like said his name, and then so they could locate where he was. So they said Khalid was his son's name. So they said Khalid through the door, and they heard him move because he went fuck. It's these guys, you know.
Yeah.
And then they located where he was, where the noises, and just shot him. And then the fire came back and they shot a lady. They didn't know, I don't think. But then they got Bin Laden, but he had a gun. I don't know why he didn't shoot it out with them. I never get when dictators don't just go out firing.
He might not have had a gun though.
They had a gun next to him.
Yeah, it could have been a planted one. I mean,
Yeah,
they might have
yeah.
planted a gun to be like he was a threat, to give reason for why they shot him. I don't think that's.
Yeah.
You just want to.
Mm.
But also, you think even if you're him, you still kind of think, all right, well, if I play nice, maybe they'll just arrest me. Maybe I'll just go,
Yeah, but then you don't want to be in jail because you don't want to join Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Guantanamo Bay, where you hasn't seen a lawyer for 2 decades.
Yeah, well, at that point, a decade.
A decade. Well, no, from now a decade, sorry. His lawyer last saw him like 2010.
Yeah.
And they made Guantanamo Bay because there's no international law there.
Yeah.
Which suggests to me
They're having a bad time.
you want to do bad stuff to people.
Yeah, remember
If
when,
you go,
remember when
we can-
Obama was like, I'm going to shut it down, and that was like a decade ago?
Yeah, people are still there.
Yeah.
Apparently they do gigs there. Do you know that? You can like gig for the troops there.
Yeah, I don't think you're not gigging for the prisoners.
No, it's not for Khalid Sheikh. How are you? What do you?
I don't know if they'd been in there for 20 years.
Kill me.
I'd do one for them. For sure, why not?
Fucking hell.
Guys, you've had a tough time. You did some bad shit. Some of you just drove a car that Bin Laden happened to be in once.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's those guys who are like, oh, what did you do? Well, I was driving a car once, and Bin Laden happened to get into it, and I spent 15 years being waterboarded. Ah, yeah, that's some bad luck.
But Bin Laden's got rich relatives who are like,
Yeah, the Bin Laden's huge
Yeah.
family construction business.
yeah, and they just sort of, you'd have to change the name now, I suppose, wouldn't you? Could you still run Bin Laden construction?
Well, in Saudi Arabia, I don't think they're that bothered about 9/11.
And probably in Pakistan either.
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
You know, Pakistan said, the government said, you should have told us. And the American government were like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah, well, Pakistan.
He was literally like 3 miles from like one of your biggest military complexes.
Yeah, they knew.
He knew exactly where he fucking was.
Yeah, they knew for sure.
And do you know when Obama and Hillary Clinton and all that are watching it? You've seen all those tapes.
Yeah.
They're all watching it happen live, or like just getting reports of it, not camera. But they're like covering every basis. Someone's on Twitter just checking the area, combing, and this guy started tweeting, going, "God, that's weird. 2 helicopters outside my house at night," and they're like, "Fuck." And we're like, almost to a point of like, we're gonna have to go shoot this man. She's like, "God, this is weird." Seen soldiers coming out of them, and just kept tweeting about the whole thing. And they're like, "We might have to go and nullify this threat."
I mean, how long? It couldn't have taken long from the moment they.
I think they're there
landed.
like half an hour. They had to go through. They went through all the files and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, he was watching weird porn."
Yeah. Sure.
To be fair, he couldn't leave the house for 10 years.
He had a couple wives to keep him company.
Yeah, but
You'd think it was like lockdown for him. Did
it was a 10-decade long lockdown.
Do you think he got a daily walk through the neighborhood?
No, he used to. They were watching him from satellite, and they used to call him the Pacer or something. I think it was the Pacer, but they'd watch him from a satellite, and it was all closed off, so you could only make out an outline of him.
Okay.
But they just watch this guy just walk around in this sort of walled bit, like for half an hour every day.
Yeah.
So he's basically in jail. Yeah, and they tried loads of shit to work out if it was him. Like they'd sent doctors around to go, "Oh, we're from the local neighbor," to try and get DNA from the kids.
Yeah.
And we're doing measles jabs for kids. So would your kids like them? And they're like, no, fuck off. And that doctor who did that for the CIA is in prison still for treason.
In Pakistan.
In Pakistan. So Pakistan, who were like, "Hey man, you should have told us. We could have collabed on this, yo." And then they're like, the guy who did collab is in jail forever.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Yeah, they should have got him out. That seems rude.
And then Bin Laden's at that awards show, whatever the hell he was. I hate the way they do that in America. You know when they have the
Wait,
roast.
what?
No, it's not Bin Laden. Obama is at the award show in America.
Just the idea of Bin Laden is at an award show and everyone's
I
like,
know, yeah,
why is he here?
Yeah.
What? Why?
You
Is he up for an award? Did he play himself in the movie? He was actually, yeah, that was him.
No one's played him in a movie yet, have they?
No, though you wouldn't.
It's quite a meaty part. I would.
You'd have to. It's hard to find somebody who looks like him.
Yeah.
He's huge. He's like, what is he, like 6'4",
6'5".
6'5", skinny, big beard. He's an imposing figure.
Mm. But you think there might be like, I suppose no one wants to watch it, do they?
Well, it's what are they going to do? They're going to make a movie about him. It's hard for him not to. If you're making a movie, is he the villain of the movie?
Yes, obviously.
Well, he could be the hero of a story.
Well, yeah, from a certain perspective.
Yeah.
But no, he's definitely the villain.
Yeah.
No, Obama was at the awards show. Whatever. You know, in America, they have like they roast the president, the correspondence dinner.
Yes, the
I
correspondence.
think it was that or something. And he gets the whisper.
That'd be
in his
weirder
ear.
if Bin Laden was at the correspondence dinner.
Yeah. That's what he'd done. Is he did a huge confidence trick where he goes, "That's how I'm going to hide. I'm going to get a job at the White House."
Yeah.
And you just look the whole time he's been there serving drinks for a decade. And you're like, he was in every fucking.
He was. Yeah. Fuck. I mean,
Yeah,
and people
he's
always
right
say,
by us.
"You know who you look like." Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. He's been sitting by us the whole time.
Yeah. You hide in plain sight.
Yeah. And then they did the big announcement, and then America just went mad because it'd been a decade, and you thought because they nearly got him like 2 months in, and then just stopped.
I think Clinton could have got him before 9/11.
Of course he could have.
They had him in their scopes, but then
They had so many things. Remember that guy who was worked for the FBI and was like, "There's going to be a terrorist attack. There's going to be," and they're like, "No, shut up." They didn't give a shit. No one thought it took it seriously. Bush didn't take it seriously. It was just this like. I watched this documentary. It's like these things started formulating like 1991 with FBI reports going, "Hey, there's these meetings going on here, and they're saying some pretty fucking wild stuff about us." And the FBI just didn't give a shit. They're like, "No, that's not a problem," because they haven't been attacked on since Pearl Harbor. So it was just like, how are you going to do that? But there was a guy who worked for the FBI who called out. It just kept going on about it. He ended up getting fired from his job. Guess where his next job was?
Disneyland?
Nope, head of security at the Twin Towers. Guess what happened to him?
He's dead.
Mm-hmm. On 9/11.
Wait, so you're telling me the guy?
Yeah.
The guy who
They
figured
made a
out
program about it with Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber fame.
the guy who figured out that 9/11 was going to happen, got fired for talking about it, and went and worked at the Twin Towers.
Mhm.
And
Well, he didn't know that the Twin Towers was going to
No.
happen. He knew attack was coming.
but then
He must have had one moment of like joy.
I don't think you would, because you wouldn't know what had happened. You'd just be in a building, and then a plane hit the building. You don't know it's a plane, really.
Yeah, but if he's on like a lower floor and then like an Al Qaeda badge might like land on near him and he goes, "I told you."
Remember how they?
All the badges.
I mean, again, I'm not. The best weird lie the government told on 9/11 was they said they found a passport in the rubble.
Did they?
Yeah, they said they found one of the terrorist
Is that
passport.
early days when they really needed results?
Yeah. And I was like, no, you didn't. Come on, this is an insane lie.
That's insane.
They can't find any of the bodies.
Could.
All the people have been eviscerated, but somehow a passport has survived.
They might have from when it landed in the field and the people heroically.
No, they meant in the building.
In the building.
It was just an
I
insane
found
lie. It was an insane lie.
Muhammad Atta.
yeah, that was it, really.
Unbelievable. And then obviously Wahlberg said that horrific thing.
Wahlberg, whatever. Maybe it would have been different.
Yeah, if you don't know, Mark Wahlberg said that if he'd been there on 9/11, because he was meant to be on one of the planes, he would have.
He would have meant to be on the one that crashed in the field.
He would have kicked the shit out of the terrorists and then crashed into the field.
United 93, right?
Mm-hmm. Big deal for them to do that, I would take. Because you still wouldn't, you go, is this happening to us?
Yeah.
And like I think, with the first one, when, before anything's happened, you go, all right, these usually end in people landing and there's a negotiation, because it has happened before.
I still think they don't know where that plane was going, for sure.
What do you mean?
The one that crashed in the field.
Oh, well, with that one, I thought that was headed to...
No, they never, I don't remember. I don't think that's ever been said, because they said one was going to, obviously...
Camp David, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, but then that's pointless, because it's just like one... Well, it is the president.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Because I went to the 9/11 museum in New York. I think it was going to Congress. I think that's where.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you want to just check? Let's have a quick...
That would have been crazy.
Yeah. There was another plan as well for LA, this skyscraper in LA, it's like... It was an insane, like... as terrorism goes, it doesn't get bigger than that. Do you know what I mean? It was such a, like...
impressive.
Whoa.
I do think in the next 10 years, eco-terrorists will blow up like 20 planes on the same day or something.
Why? What like...
To discourage flying.
Stop oil?
Mm.
Do you think so?
Yeah, once they militarize, I think that's what'll happen.
Really?
I think they'll get an army of drones.
Yeah.
You don't really need much.
Started with Greta, ends with...
It will.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a violent... Well, it's a fight worth fighting. If you depending on your view of how quickly the climate is going to change, how many people are going to die because of that, how much the world becomes uninhabitable, how that affects the misery and suffering from that. If we're just not changing, and they need to speed up that change, what's air travel? Maybe 10% of emissions is air travel. Well, you want to cut that in half. You just start blowing up passenger planes. It'll cut it in half pretty quickly.
But we stopped planes for lockdown. Didn't make any difference.
It did make a difference. Emissions dropped, and then we got back on the planes.
Yeah, we're back on it. Apparently, they're calling it like revenge holiday season.
Yeah, of course.
Where everyone who didn't get to go on holiday for 2 years is having like 10.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We're not changing our behavior, so they're gonna have to change it for us with some drone bombs. They'll just drone. So all you do, you put a bomb on a drone, you fly it into a plane, you're good. Do it over and over and over again. Nobody fly. Would you fly? Let's say over the course of a couple months, 3 planes were blown up. Would that make you think, I think I'm gonna take a train?
What would be funny if this happened is that for the first time in history, white guys with beards would be profiled.
Yeah.
And you just go, anyone you see that smells slightly of weed and smells like a bit and looks like they enjoy playing acoustic guitar.
Sir, what do you do? I'm a barista.
Yeah.
Come with us.
Yeah, get the fuck off the plane.
Get the fuck off this plane.
This guy's wearing a "Take Me to Your Dealer" t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm getting off the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do for a living? I'm fun employed. Right, we're all going to die.
Fun employed.
Did you get any info, Jody? I thought it was Camp David. Camp David was speculated.
No, on history.com the most comprehensive study of the terrorist attacks 9/11 Commission report concluded the plane's target was Washington, which kind of, we gathered. But the Senate and the House were both in session in the Capitol building. So I think I believe they were intending to take that out, and that's what they said in the museum.
That would have been fucking crazy if
So-
they would have got the Senate and the House. Because they got the Pentagon, but like, in terms of symbols, the Pentagon, like, it's not like they took out all of intelligence, you know?
Yeah.
But if they would have taken out the House and the Senate, that's like the collapse of the U.S. government. That would have been insane.
Fuck. Yeah. And imagine being, because I was really young and I remember it, and I didn't know what the Twin Towers was or anything, but I just remember going, oh, this is big.
Yeah.
And then the days after you realize how big it is. But if you're in America, you go, we're under attack. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it must have been fucking terrifying just to be in any building or any sort of.
Yeah.
And like, they went and then said any plane that does not immediately land gets shot out of the sky.
Yeah.
You see New York, everyone's just walking.
And they're all just breathing in like, I'm safe, not knowing they're going to die of cancer in 15 years.
Yeah.
Just from the carcinogens.
Oh, really? Well, that did happen quite a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's still happening. All the firefighters are dying horrible
God,
deaths.
horrible.
Everybody, all the heroes from 9/11 are just, they all have cancer from breathing in apparently breathing in like burning metal and jet fuel isn't good for your lungs.
Oh.
It's like smoking a couple packs of cigarettes all at once.
Okay. I've got to stop breathing in jet fuel then.
Yeah. Don't breathe in any burning jet
I'm
fuel.
going to throw away my jet fuel vape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was that comedian who said he was there, didn't he?
That was great. Steve Reza.
We didn't have to name him, but
It was public
Yeah.
knowledge. I'll name him Steve Reza Zingy, whatever his name is.
yeah, I'll name him Steve Russell or whatever.
I don't know his fucking name.
Yeah.
No one else does anymore either. He was huge. He was on The League. He was on The Up. That show, The League. He was
I
blowing
never
up.
saw it, but was it a big show?
It was a big show. I think that's when Meghan Markle was on too.
No way.
I'm pretty sure. And he was like a good old American boy, and he's got that strong jaw, handsome guy, and him and his wife's story was, I survived 9/11, then I realized I want to start comedy. And a story is all you fucking need sometimes. That story, his stand-up is like average, but that story,
It's like dad stand up.
yeah, it propelled him though to like success,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And he's an actor, and he's just got this, he just has this fucking sheen of like credibility because of that story. And then it turned out it was all a fucking lie.
Yeah, and he went on. I heard him on Mark Maron talking about it. I knew that at this point that it wasn't real, and he just speaks for an hour about it and the feeling and stuff, and you go, God. But
And
then he's like,
but this was recorded
pre-exposure. So he does a whole thing of it, and I don't know how it happened. You know what I mean? Like, well, how does that something?
We
like
told
that
the lie
happen?
once, and then it gets around, and then you just have to keep telling it. I don't think it was a plan like this is. I don't think the plan necessarily was this is what I'm going to say forever.
Yeah,
But you tell it a couple times now, you're stuck in the lie.
he told his mates before he got outed
Yeah.
as well. He said, but then I suppose he got attention for it, and everyone was like, amazing.
No, of course.
And what he could have done is, because by the way, I just pranked the fuck out of this guy. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I've got a weird sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's not funny. I've apologized. I just thought it was funny.
He could have got out early, but he was in it.
And he did too many. The problem is he did interviews about it.
Of course he did.
The thing is like suddenly you get invited to go on a huge podcast, and you're like, well, yeah, maybe it did happen.
Yeah, and Pete Davidson's dad died on 9/11, and that was part of his story that kind of propelled him. Because he's a child of a dead firefighter.
Yeah.
And
now he just has sex with
the hottest women in the world.
He's now with Emily Ratajkowski.
I wonder if you said to Pete Davidson, "Okay,
I know what you're going to say, and it's going to be awful. I know exactly what he's about to say. Go on, say it, Bobby.
all right. Here's what I wonder if you said to Pete Davidson, okay, you either get your dad back,
I knew this was happening.
and you work
You're a fireman as well.
as a fireman, or you get the life you've had. SNL, Kim Kardashian, Emily Ratajkowski, whatever her name is, all the other A-listers, the rumors about your huge cock,
Kate Beckinsale.
all of it. What are you going to choose? Your dad might have died the next year anyways. He might have died in a different fire. We don't know.
It's a dangerous job.
What are you going to do, Pete?
Mm.
What are you going to do with your time machine? It would be a tough one. I'm not saying it wouldn't be easy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he always thinks, like, I'd do anything to have him back. Really? Anything? You'd lose the memories of seeing Kim Kardashian naked.
Well, everyone's seen her naked.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's a bit different in the flesh.
Yeah. I wonder if Kanye still texts him and stuff, you know?
I don't know. I don't know. But I just think it'd be a hard choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom is dead.
Mm.
If it was like between bringing her back and having sex with all the hottest women in the world and being famous, let's let sleeping dogs lie, you know?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, I can't put myself in that position because I'm not in it, you know?
I think you can, though. You can imagine this scenario.
Look, I'm happy where I am, who I am, you know?
Yeah.
I love doing this pod.
Yeah.
This pod is Kim Kardashian to me.
So you wouldn't bring back all your...
I wouldn't know Jody.
Yeah.
And, you know,
What
Jody...
about all your dead relatives? Would you bring back all your dead relatives if it meant but you couldn't do this podcast?
Yeah, I'd bring him back.
Maybe Pete would say the same thing.
Yeah. No, that is definitely a, like with Pete Davidson, because I've never seen him be funny, and this isn't. He seems like a nice guy, but I don't think anyone knows him. He's Pete Davidson? It's like he's his own entity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like he was on Saturday Night Live, but he says it himself in interviews. He's like, "Yeah, they don't give me anything to do. I just sit there going, yeah." And like you're like, "Yeah, you do," but he's not. It's like he's this. It's like we're all willing for him to go.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because his dad died on 9/11, and
Yeah.
if his dad was brought back.
But the other thing as well is this whole like Pete Davidson, as if he's just a fucking lifeguard who's nailing all the hottest ladies in the world. He's fucking a millionaire. He's like 6'4". I don't think he's bad looking at all.
I don't know if he's not good looking for someone that gets to have sex with these women. You know, like he looks quite
but
average
he's still
compared
a massive
to them.
Star.
He is a massive star. You know, he's a famous
Is he good
guy.
in films? Did you watch? I haven't seen his movie.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
To be honest, I've only seen little clips of him. His stand-up just looks bad.
Mm.
It's just him talking about famous people he knows.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he I don't think it's his focus, you know.
No, it's not.
His real focus is like
Yeah.
Who is the
People
next
who get really good at stand-up, you go, God, you haven't had a nice time in a while.
Yeah, people. Yeah, like I wish I had so much going on that I would get bad at stand-up comedy. That's the goal. The goal is to be so busy your stand-up suffers.
And you're so out of touch as well.
And you're just like, oh God, I was on a private plane the other day. You know what I mean? And then people are like, this guy's not funny anymore. And it's like, that's the goal.
I didn't pay $25K to have to queue when I get to the other side, like I got first class.
Yeah, the goal is to get to that point.
Yeah, I'm paying $50,000 a year for this fucking school. That sort of comedy.
But maybe they'd bring him back and they'd be like, Daddy, oh my God, you're back. Yeah, Pete. And then Pete tells them about his life.
Yeah.
Because he had died. And he's like, wait, because I died, you got this life?
So it was all a dream.
Yeah, Dad.
One day, and then
Yeah,
he sees
Dad.
his dad's alive.
Yeah, Dad.
No!
But I missed you the whole time. I think his dad would just be like, Pete, I won't even be that good of a father for the sake of the rest of your life. I will stay dead. Please. Enjoy the pussy, son.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, let's put a lid on that. That's just like you saying that in that voice.
Enjoy the pussy, son.
Fucking horrible face. All right.
Put a lid on my coffin. What are you doing, Dad? I'm getting back in the coffin. I'm dead again.
It's a big year for sad deaths, 2011.
Okay.
Kim Jong Il, the dad, dies of either a heart attack or a stroke on his way to a field guidance.
Well, we lost a lot of great ones that year.
This is a big year. If I was fucking
Kim-Jon Il.
If I was Putin, I would have sat there that year going, ooh. It was sort of the Me Too for dictators, getting killed.
I like thinking of Me Too the other way. This is the Arab Spring of sex predators.
Yeah.
The Arab
But Putin must have been sat there going, Bin Laden, fucking Kim Jong Il, and Gaddafi.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A hat trick of
He died, and obviously we...
eccentric achievers.
His delightful, fat little son, Kim Jong Il.
Whoa, I don't think we're saying the M word anymore. That's not...
Are we not?
No, not allowed anymore.
Wow.
They don't like it.
Well, I don't think we're allowed to say, enjoy the pussy, son.
That we're allowed to say, listen, the rules, I don't make the rules.
Mm-hmm.
The rules are not that word anymore,
Yeah.
but enjoy the pussy, son. That's not offending anybody. I think it would offend Pete Davidson specifically. I doubt he's listening or watching.
That's the most horrific sentence I've ever fucking heard. You should get T-shirts that just say that.
Enjoy the pussy, son. Hey, if you subscribe to our Patreon, yeah, listen, if you subscribe to our Patreon today, I will send you a mug that says "Enjoy the pussy, son."
Yeah. Imagine if we got an email next week and it said, "Dear Red and Bobby,
Yeah.
I have been a big fan, and Jody, I've been a big fan."
Well, we don't need to include Jody in the emails.
He puts brackets and Jody.
No, Jody adds that in before he hands it to
Yeah.
us. That's what Jody. That's what happens. They send the emails because on the Patreon, if you don't know, we read out emails from the listeners, and then we respond.
We talk
to
about
emails.
years in your life. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, but sometimes it'll say "Dear Red and Bobby" or "Dear Bobby" usually, and then Red. But and then Jody, and then it'll say "and Jody" in brackets. But I think that's Jody had went in and somehow doctored the email, so he's involved. But continue.
Okay. Dear Red and Bobby, I've been listening to The Year Is since the episode 1. It is a brilliant podcast. I'm currently in America shooting my latest movie and was about to ask you guys to fly out and be in it and enjoy pussy with me until I heard you mocking my dead father. I hate you, from Pete Davidson.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you know what?
What?
If he's writing an email, that means he was a patron for a while, and I appreciate his contribution.
Yeah, and at some point, Kim Kardashian and Emily Ratajkowski has probably listened to it.
Yeah.
You know her husband cheated on her.
Emily, right?
They have a 1-year-old kid. Apparently, he's a serial cheat.
Yeah, that's what Pete Davidson. He swipes into all these hot women who've had horrible men before. He's the rebound.
That's true, isn't it? They
He's
always
the
have a toxic
rebound.
relationship before.
He's the opposite. He's like the nice whiny guy.
Well, I think he comes in when because he's obviously he's self.
Well, I always thought that. I always think like, if someone's really attractive, right? It's like, oh, they would never had sex with me, and it's like, no, they wouldn't have sex with you when they're having a good day. But if you just happen to be there when they're having their worst day, and they're like, I just need something to feel better, and then you're like, hey, what are you up to?
Yeah,
that might be your time to shine. Do you know what I mean? That's my philosophy in life. I remember Harriet lived with somebody, and then there was a guy always around, and then the guy liked the girl, and she was always like, she would never sleep with him. I was like, I don't know. He gives her pretty consistent attention. I bet there'll be a day where no one's around, and she will. And then it happened, and she was astounded, and I was so right. It felt amazing to know, like, no. Just wait till nobody's around, and she's a bit, feeling underconfident. There's this guy just throwing compliments her way.
Yeah.
And that's what Pete Davidson does. He's not the hottest guy in the world, but he's got a fat dick, a lot of money, and a reputation for fucking and treating these women well.
Yeah. Yeah, because after Kanye, I think there's probably about a 2-hour period during her relationship with Kanye West when most men in the world could have slept with her. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm God. Oh God, get away from me.
like I feel like I could have, like the day after they broke up, I could have walked and be like, hey, are you all right? She'd be like, What's your name?
Yeah,
like, it was
yeah.
just like,
Kim, I'm going to start a war on the Jews.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
yeah. Yeah, you're just like,
Hey, mailman, can I come with you?
yeah, you're just like, hey, you want a coffee or something? Like, oh my God, kindness. I missed this.
Yeah.
A human voice.
But yeah, so Kim Jong Il dies. You think, great, he's dead. Unfortunately, his son's as much of a cunt as he is, and he's probably got a son who's also a cunt who's called Kim Jong whatever. We don't even know the name yet.
Yeah,
but this is going to go on for fucking ages until someone in North Korea just shoots that awful family.
I don't advocate the murder of leaders.
I do.
Oh, really? Interesting. What about Will and Kate?
What?
Well,
They've got no power.
Oh, well,
They've got no power at all.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're great people.
Is Charles going to be on the money now? That's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I know everyone did all those jokes. Cause,
Oh, yeah. That's weird.
Charles
though.
Coke, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I sort of felt with the Queen, maybe it's time to end it, you know?
Yeah, I think.
Because I look at him and I go, you know. With her, I grew up with her being the Queen, and you sort of go, and now it's over.
Oh, God. I hate this. It's boring.
Well, he's so triggered, isn't he? What was it? What we're not allowed to talk about Twitter, the royal family. We're doing a podcast on history, but I can't bring up the royal
You just
family.
love the royals. It's fucking gross.
I don't.
You
I'm
do.
I'm just indifferent. I just think you should just relax about.
No. Oh, yeah. There's something.
Mm?
Just you fetishize these people.
I don't. So he's dead. His other son, was meant to take over.
Yeah, but he got assassinated.
No, but he also, the reason he was no longer the heir is because he tried to go to Disneyland. Do you know Kim Jong Un went to school in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Just, oh yeah, I went to school with that guy. But yeah, the uncle, he got fed to dogs,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Mm.
They got the brother in the airport in Malaysia, wasn't it?
Well, it was a prank gone wrong.
It wasn't a prank.
It was
The
a part of a prank show.
The assassins went up to those two girls and said, "Hey, spray that guy with this thing. It's a prank." And then
They didn't know he was allergic to acid.
Well, I think everyone's pretty allergic to acid.
They didn't know.
I can't remember if they got convicted or
They
not.
didn't know if he was
they
allergic to
were,
cyanide.
They were on trial for killing.
Yeah, what has happened to them? Have
Well, they were just legitimately tricked into killing someone, which
Yeah.
is so funny.
No, I'm sorry. If Kim Jong Un handed me something and said, "Spray that man in the face," I mean, I'd do it.
It wasn't him that did it. No, it was just it was the
government, yeah.
assassin in the airport.
Yeah, of course.
It was a guy in the
But
airport.
they
that
were
just went
sent by Kim.
They thought they were on a prank show.
Yeah, Kim sent him over.
Yeah.
Obsessed with basketball. Has the record for the biggest golf swing of all time as well.
Biggest golf swing.
Yeah.
Do you mean like golf shot? He hit the golf
Yeah,
shot.
biggest golf swing.
That's not called
That's
a
what you
golf
call
swing.
it. That's what you
not.
call it.
Okay, well, I think that's enough.
Yep. Enjoy the no. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you to our super genius patrons, Matthew, Spencer, Christopher. I still love you.
Yeah, you're great. And just keep subscribing, keep liking, keep telling your friends. Now, join us on the bonus episode for our year.
You don't know how to talk. You forgot how to talk. Just listen to the Patreon episode now. Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Bye. That was another episode of The Year Is. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a review. It all helps. I'd like to thank our producer, Jody. And also I'd like to thank Josh Weller for our intro music and song. It's very catchy. It's very nice. I'm sure you'll enjoy it at the beginning. So big thanks for Josh Weller. He's on Instagram at Josh Weller. Follow him and keep spreading the word of The Year Is. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.